Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Janet. Today, we're going to be talking about addiction and recidivism. Oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes, when a person is incarcerated, they are on some type of drug, some mind altering drug that causes them to do the crime they did. Quite often, it's not a violent crime. Um, I believe that these folks need help with their addictions. I think that if we drug test each one of them that come into the system and they repeatedly fail, then we should start talking about getting them enrolled immediately into a drug treatment program. These are substance abuse victims, and they deserve to be treated and possibly even saving their lives by getting them that treatment when they reoffend and come in and test negative for drugs. I've lost a family member very recently to the same thing. I believe that his life could have been saved had he gotten the help that he needed early on in his criminal career. And also, one of my good friends lost a son very recently, even more recently than my nephew. It's very sad to watch. It's very disturbing. This young man also had the same thing going on with him, going in and out of jail and always being addicted to something. If they had just tested him and possibly gotten him the help that he needed, it's possible that his life could have also been saved. So I'm passionate about this subject. We need to stop sending them. Even the American Civil Liberties Union is putting out there, and they agree, in quote, let's send them to jail doesn't help addicts. Let's stop sending them there, is the actual quote, and I happen to agree wholeheartely with that. I don't think that jail is going to get a drug addict free of the addiction until we till we help break the bonds of addiction for these folks. It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle, and it just seems to get repeated. How do we decide who needs to go and get treatment? We must drug test them on each and every trip to jail and find out, if they fail 2 consecutive tests, then we need to be appointing treatment. The judges should be appointing treatment for them. And it should be done while they're incarcerated, and weekly and random drug tests when they're released back in, to go home. This will be a form of positive reinforcements for them to get those drug tests randomly and weekly. And also, getting substance abuse victims the help that they need. It just helps cut down on the crime. I mean, that's just a given. It's a given fact. It just helps them to cut down on the crime, because often they're high when they perform the crime. We have to look at that. We have to say, when they come in, we have to say, are you on drugs when you did the crime, or not on the drug when you did the crime? And we have to consider the possible drug that they might be using. There's all kinds of avenues to go down to get these substance abuse victims the help that they so desperately deserve and need. The blog at vertarahealth.com is a really good place to start for the positive reinforcements. They're a like-minded group, and they absolutely agree that we need to get these folks the help that they need, with weekly and random drug tests to make sure that they're staying on the program and not falling by the wayside. If we get the inmates the help that they need, we could possibly be saving a lot of lives. It happens so often. I know somebody that's in there now that's addicted, and I'm just hoping he gets the help he needs while he's in there. There's nothing I can do about it. Today, I want to persuade you to get on board with contacting your state representatives and pushing for laws that will get these victims the help that they need free of charge. If we send them to treatment programs, there's a desperate need in our criminal justice system for treatment programs to be free for these individuals who are substance abuse victims. It's up to us to provide that. imagine the difference we could make if we all contacted our state representatives to ask them to pass laws that will help us get free rehabilitation for substance abuse victims. Substance abuse is a disease, and it's one that can be treated with medical and emotional care. And we can do this as a society. We can do this together. So I hope today that as you've been listening, that I've touched your heart in a way that will cause you to start getting more involved in this and get on board with treatment for repeat offenders. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful day. Bye now.